Yo guys, welcome back to the Ratcave. Ratzi here, and it is a glorious day here at DJKit because the Pioneer DDJ-400 has just been announced to work with Algoriddims DJ app, which means the DDJ-400 will now work with a Spotify. So I'm not going to go through all of the ins and outs of the DDJ-400 because I've already done that in a separate video, which I will link in the description of this one. However, I am just going to take you through a few of the features which are a little bit different maybe when using the 400 with Algoriddims DJ app. Now then, the most important thing about this whole setup, and I cannot stress this enough, is this little white adapter here. Why is it so important? Right, the DDJ-400 needs to be plugged into a power source to work. The phone on its own, so the iPhone that I've got this plugged into in this setup, doesn't give off enough power to power the 400 just through a USB connection. So what this adapter does is, obviously there's only one lightning input to this phone, so I've got it into that, and then the adapter has a USB input which is into the DDJ-400 controller, and then another lightning out which is plugged into the wall. So in effect, this phone is on charge, so the current from the electric from the wall is powering the DDJ-400 controller, and obviously the phone, so it's all connected in there. Now this adapter is called the Lightning to USB 3 camera adapter, that's what Apple are calling it, but it is so important because without the adapter, well, first of all, you need two inputs into the phone anyway because there's only one lightning in, and it won't work without it. So to get straight into it, I'm not going to go through all the different pad effects because, like I said, I've already done that on another separate DDJ-400 video. So just to say, the hot cue, the beat loop, the beat jump, the keyboard and the key shift, they all work the same as if you were using this within Rekordbox. But where this setup differs a little bit to the Rekordbox one is when it comes to the pad effects 1, the pad effects 2, the sampler and the effects in the level depth here. Now, assigned to pad effects 1, all of these pads are different roll effects. So just to lay off a little tune here. So this is a really short roll, the first one, and then they get bigger as you go along. And so on and so forth. Pad effects 2, however, are actual effects. So similar, like when you've got this plugged into Rekordbox, you've got a whole bank of effects which are triggered by these pads down here. But these effects are all within the Algoriddim DJ app. So to get to pad effects 2, again, hold shift, but this time it's a secondary function of beat jump. So now all these pads are effects. Now to see which effects are assigned to which pad, you have to go into the actual app itself, and you do so by pressing this little button down just in the bottom right hand corner above the play button. So that's your effects section. Now, confusingly, it's not in the pad mode, it is in instant here. So all these effects here are the effects which are assigned to these pads down here. So just to lay that tune off again, we've got absorb, which is like a filter, got drift, sway, crush, punch, twist, and then these two at the end are absorb and drift again for some reason. I guess they ran out of ideas or something, I don't know. So that's your pad effects section down here. Now to go on to the effects section in the middle here. So confusingly, like I said before, these effects are actually called pad within the app. So as you can see here, I've got it on Bit Crusher. So to trigger these effects, you use the on-off button here, which is the same as Rekordbox, but in Rekordbox, you change the size of the effect with these beat buttons here. Now, in this setup with the Algoriddim DJ app, you actually change the size of the effect using the level depth option here. So at the moment I've got it on Bit Crusher. I'm just going to change this to echo because it's a better example, and you do that by you use this effects select button here, which takes you down through the effects as you can see, but actually echoes at the top. So I hold shift, press the effects, and then that goes up. So we'll go all the way up to echo there. So reel the tune off, turn, I've got it assigned to channel 2, which is what's playing now. turn it on, and you can hear the echo there. So that's smack bang in the middle. Now, where you would use the beat buttons up here within the Rekordbox, you use the level depth knob down here to control these effects. So if I go over to minimum, it makes the echo a lot longer, as you can hear there, but whereas if I go over to maximum, it makes it a lot shorter. So, I mean, a nice kind of, a nice level of the echo is in the middle there, really. Like, that's a nice effect in my opinion. So that is how you use the effects section here. And like I say, to change the effects, you just use this effects select button. Hold shift to move it up, and then just press it normally to move it down. The beat effects buttons here, they don't work. Now, typical to most Pioneer controllers these days, and pretty much most controllers out in the market at the moment, you've got 2 separate filter knobs per channel. So when you pull this all the way over to the right, that's a high pass filter. And over to the left is a low pass filter. So not much different there when it comes to the filter effects. So to continue around the mixer section here, I mean, pretty bog standard. You've got your 3-band EQ here in your trim. Like, the trim's pretty much like a gain. So just for beginner DJs that aren't really sure, I'll quickly show you. So the bottom is the low. So when you take that down, it takes out all the bass, like that. The middle knob is the mid range. So that takes all the mid out. And then the top is all the high, so that'll take all the high out there. Now, what's really nice as well about this setup here with the 400 and DJ is the browser knob still works. So if you want to change a song or whatever, you just click that, and as you can see here, I've got this plugged into my Spotify. What a day to be alive. So yeah, it will just go through all of your playlists here, and then that's how you change your tune. So you can go in there and all that kind of jazz. And then once you want to load the track, once you've found the track that you want to load, you press the load button here to put it into this channel, or the load button here to put it into that channel. So around the top up here, you've got your looping section. That's exactly the same as if you were using this with Rekordbox. Obviously, you've got loops down here on the pads as well. And then you've also got your beat sync, which puts the 2 tunes in at the same BPM. So great for beginner DJs. Older DJs aren't overly keen about it, sort of more experienced DJs, but that's a massive debate which I try to avoid at all costs. So now, last but not least is the sampler. So the sampler is a little bit different in the DJ app rather than using this when you're using this with Rekordbox. So the sampler is the last option over here. Basically, now I've clicked on sampler, all of these pads are now triggers for samples. To see which samples you want to be using, you have to go into the app here. So you press the little record at the top, then you go into looper, and then there's all your samples in there. So just to trigger a few off, this one here is a spaceship. That's called Impact. Chord 2, Radio Bites, Vocal 1, DJ. You know, you get the idea. But obviously the layout is a little bit different. These are in 2s over here, whereas these are 4s on top of each other. Can be a little bit confusing, but you know, I'm sure that you'll be able to get used to it. So the ones on the right hand side are obviously for the right hand deck. Now the ones on the left hand side apply to the left hand deck. So the old classic air horn. What's a sampler without an air horn? And you know, you've got also in this pack, this is the DJ's Essentials pack, right? So to change the pack, you just click up here. I've got hip hop volume 4 and house bass. I mean, they're up in the cloud. I won't download them to show you just yet. But yeah, so this is the Essentials pack, but that is how you change your samples within these pads. So there's plenty to download as well. If you do want to download any more, you just click Get More Packs at the bottom there. But yeah, just to show you quickly, a clever little thing. This is a little bit more advanced, maybe sort of mixing techniques for beginner DJs that are watching this, but in this essentials pack, there's at the bottom there, you can see drum kick and drum snare. That's those two pads there. So a real fun thing to do, just lay this tune off again, is to add some extra drums over the tune that you're playing. Loads of fun to be had there with the sampler. So now to get out of this sample mode on the app, you just go back and you click that logo at the top again, go back into classic, and there's my two turntables. It is worth saying at this point as well, if you're more of a visual mixing DJ, you can change these turntables into waveforms by just clicking that button there. And then you've got your two waveforms if, you know, that's kind of a more visual way to be DJing. Might be a bit easier to beat match when you can see the two sort of waveforms next to each other like that. So in a nutshell, that's the DDJ-400 used with Algoriddims DJ app. So, you know, no features are missed really. All the features that work within Rekordbox work within the app. But the great thing obviously about this app is that it works with Spotify. I should say as well, the DJ app itself is a monthly subscription, although there is a free trial available if you want to give it a go. And to use it with Spotify, you have to have a Spotify premium account. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you found this useful, please feel free to send it to someone who's maybe looking at getting into DJing or looking at the 400, or maybe even someone that's got the 400 already and wants to be able to use it with Spotify. Thanks for watching anyway, guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.